This is Mike Johnson from Life Radio UK, and I'm delighted to have renowned music producer, songwriter, and the man under whose direction the Tri-City Singers came to prominence. He'll be in London between April 27 and 29 for the Music and Arts Global Conference at the Gaumont State Theatre. Please join me in welcoming to Life Radio UK the one and only Mr. Donald Lawrence.
Hello, my friend. How are you?
I'm very good, sir. Man, you sound just like you do on those records when you speak before.
That's what everyone says. As soon as I say one thing, they go, "Oh, you got to be Donald Lawrence."
That's your identity. Not even your face, your voice. That's Donald Lawrence.
My voice is my identity.
Absolutely. And on radio, that's what I live by. You know, people know me by the voice.
People always told me that I would have been good at radio.
Oh, listen, man.
I'm a music guy.
When you finish music, you just slide over into radio. That's not a problem. Donald, I've never met you before, so I like to get a little bit of the backstory because you didn't just arrive yesterday. You were doing things many years ago. I probably know songs that you written or produced, but I didn't know it was you and so on, you know, because I like to get the backstory. So there was a time, particularly in the 90s, when you couldn't mention Donald Lawrence without adding the Tri-City Singers.
Yeah.
But tell me about some of those songs that you've written and produced for other people that we may not have realized.
Oh, wow. I did songs for I produced Every Praise for Hezekiah Walker, as well as Sold Out. I produced, of course, the Finally Karen big album, all those songs on that. I produced the Clark Sisters' last album, One Last Time, that won 3 Grammys. I worked with so many people. I think I was working so much, I forget how many artists, kind of multi-genres that I worked with, with this. I started off definitely being the musical director for an R&B artist here by the name of Stephanie Mills. She got her started on Broadway. And so actually when the signature song from the show, The Wiz, was Home, where she pretty much made it popular on Broadway. Later on in life, she wanted to re-record it on her R&B album, a pop album. And she asked me would I do an arrangement of it. So that song went to #1. So the last version of Home that everyone knows, I did the arrangement for that as well. So, it's just been a lot of things.
Indeed. And the Island Inspirational.
Oh yeah, Island Inspirational.
Talk to me about that one.
It was called "Don't Give Up." It was a song that was co-written by myself and a guy by the name of Stanley Brown, who was the head of R&B, of the A&R department for Island Black music then. So we came together, we did that song. He wanted to do it kind of a collaborative. So we reached out to Kirk Franklin and family. Of course, me and Tri-City did it along with Hezekiah Walker and La Fellowship, as well as Karen Clark joined us. So that was kind of the start of that, of her getting ready to do her solo album. A lot of people don't know that I mixed Kirk Franklin's breakout album, The Reason Why We Sing. I did that I put that whole album together as far as mixing it. And also I even sequenced the album, meaning the order that you hear, the edits, everything. I did all of that. I didn't even know him then. The label head asked me if I would help her out because she was launching a label. Her name was Vicky Mac Latayad.
Yeah.
And we worked together a lot. So I was just trying to help her get her thing started. And who knew it was going to be what it is today? Who knew it was going to, I think he would have been big either way. It had nothing to do with me, but she just came to me and said, "Donald, I need some help on this. Would you help me remix this?" Because she wasn't happy with the original mix. So a lot of things I just kind of been in the background,
Right. That's all right. That's okay. Yeah. You see, this is the value of the album sleeve.
Yeah.
To know these credits.
Reading the credits so you can know how it was done.
Exactly. Well, the finale then brought down the curtain on the Tri-City Singers. You now focus more on individual projects and collaborative projects. So what prompted that shift in direction?
Well, actually, what I did was I kind of wanted to continue making music. So I created a group called Donald Lawrence and Company. It's a group of session singers that travel with me when I sing, when I do now. So I've never stopped performing or making music or even making albums. I just stopped kind of doing it with the choir for the simple reason that Tri-City has never been a choir that was a rotating door. We've always been all of us or kind of none of us. It hasn't been, I mean, not that we didn't get some members along the way, but it's a family unit. And there were a lot of them that really wanted to do solo things. And I wanted to give them the room to be able to do that. So rather than just get a whole new crew of people, I would rather, hey, you guys, let's just retire the group and allow everybody to go and do their dreams. I've always been a leader that helped push the people in my camp. I try to connect them. I try to open doors. I try to introduce them. We're still the best of friends to this day. And still very, very, very close. So, that was the reason for Finale. It wasn't we fell out or got mad at each other, nothing. We're still all close and we check on each other all the time. And that was the reason for that. It was more so to give room for the other gift. It was filled with talent. I mean, just the best singers. And I wanted them to be able to have an opportunity to go for their dreams as well. So that's really what that was about. Because, that's what you do as a leader. You become those connected to you become. And that's what I want.
Yes. And, Donald, what is it about gospel that makes the notes available to musicians are all the same numbers of notes. What is it about gospel that make other genres want gospel on their projects?
Well, first of all, at the core of the other genres is gospel. Let's not forget that, because gospel inspired rock and roll, gospel inspired jazz, gospel inspired all of that. It's at the core of it. So they don't know it, but subconsciously the reason why they want to do it, because they're going back.
They're coming back home.
Their music came from. Let's say that first, because people forget that.
Yes.
People forget that, that Little Richard inspired the Beatles.
That's right.
So that's one thing. The other part of it is gospel music is the only music that you can go to when you've had a bad day and you've lost your job or someone is dying or someone is extremely sick or my marriage is broken up. It's a healing in it that's different from any other genres. So let's take the religion out of it. Just there's a spirituality about it that soothes the soul in a different way than any other genre does. And I think music is healing in general, but there's something about the faith that's added into gospel music that takes it to another level. So that's why people always want gospel music. One, it's the origin of most music. And then secondly, it's the healing that it brings to someone when you're having a bad day. There's nothing like it.
That's a great point. That's excellent. I'm gonna write that one down. You heard it first here with Donald Lawrence. So Donald, you're coming here later on in April for the Music and Arts Global Conference. Now you're following in the footsteps of one of your mentors who convened the Music and Arts Seminar. And I understand one of his dreams was to go global with that concept. And you're now taking up the baton, literally, and bringing it across to the UK. Tell us about your revisioning.
Well, Edwin, of course, everyone knows is the arranger creator of Oh Happy Day, which is one of the gospel songs ever. So he was a big brother and friend and mentor, and he asked me for his legacy if before transitioning, he asked me if I would take it on and move it forward. So that's what we're doing. I'm relaunching it in London, and that was a dream of his too, to make it more global. And because I had been doing a lot of master classes, especially around Europe, I wanted to do it to relaunch it globally. So all of my friends in Europe could meet me in London, and then people from America could come over there, and we just all sing together. That's the goal. And it's not even a conference. I call it a gathering of choir creatives, because it does focus on choir music. And I wanted to inspire the next generation of choir creators, because I think choir is very important to culture in general, not just the music part of it, not just the gospel part of it, but the community of it. Because when you put a choir together, you really create a family, you create a community. And when you break that up, you break up communities and you break up families. So I wanted to really put that back in everybody's mind, that a choir is more than just coming together and singing. It's the community, it's the social And plus the training, the pedigree of choir has given us the best singers in the world, not just gospel singers. Whitney came from the choir. Aretha came from the choir. Beyonce came from the choir. Even Snoop Dogg was in the choir. So Kanye came from all of that. Really, it's like a non-accredited conservatory where you learn an intensive, and it has given us the greatest singers and musicians ever. So I always want to throw that back to say, hey, let's not discredit the choir, because the choir is why you have some of the greatest musicians and beat makers and everything that you have today. That's what we're doing. And it is at the Gaumont State Theater, April 27th through the 29th. But the big concert is April 29th, 7:30 p.m. the Gaumont State Theater, where you will see all of us on stage together, singing together.
Is this going to be a live recording, the concert that will come out later on?
Well, we'll see about that. That's not the plan right now.
Okay.
However, we are archiving everything for sure.
Yes.
So maybe a song or two may come out of it. Eventually, yes, that's what it was. Because I do want to keep it in London. Every 2 years, we would just come back and do this. I didn't want to do it annually. I wanted to do it biannually, that we come and I really wanted to really get to the point. And I say this a lot, that when we come from America to Europe, we sing to you. I wanted us all to sing together. And that's my goal for this, to see gospel people from America, from Spain, from Switzerland, from Sweden, from the UK, from Ireland, all coming together and singing. And I do have choirs coming from Ireland, from Sweden, from Switzerland, from Spain, from Latvia, from Italy. Like, everybody's just coming. We got I think a couple hundred people coming from America, maybe more.
Wow.
We're just all coming to just enjoy each other. And the one thing, especially Black Americans, they don't really like to leave America that much. So I'm pushing them to come. And so I think a lot of people are really excited to come and spend some time in London. So a lot of them are coming in on Tuesday just to get to see London for the first time. Right. But also, I hype them up to tell them that, London has some of the most amazing audiences, your energy. So I'm looking forward to them to get that full experience when they come.
So all these choirs that will come in, the European choirs, is there going to be some kind of a mass setup where they all do something together, or they'll showcase what they do and you give work masterclass sessions and so on?
Yeah, we have masterclass sessions happening daily, and then we end with a mass choir concert, meaning that we all sing together on Saturday night. And then on Friday night, we have a showcase. You guys don't do this in Europe, but in America, we have this thing called a musical, where a bunch of choirs come together and we sing like maybe 2 songs, and everybody gets to hear everybody. So I decided to create, I guess, a UK musical, but with multiple choirs from all ethnicities. So Friday night is what I call All About the Choir. It's a showcase. It's going to be hosted by Volney Morgan. I call him Nephew. He's going to host it, and we got about 11 choirs coming. We have Love Revolution Gospel Choir from Denmark. We have Solid Gospel from Sweden. We have the Riga Gospel Choir from Latvia. We have Gospel Living Water from Madrid. We have groups. It's just a lot of groups. So about 11 choirs will sing on Friday night.
London Community Gospel Choir.
That's my friend Basil Mead from London. He's a great friend, and we're just like in all ways. And also, we even share the same birthday. We were born on the exact same day, so we're very similar in personalities.
All right,
he's a great friend. So we'll be singing as well. Volney and his group will be singing as well. It's just going to be a really, really good night that Friday, and then Saturday night we're all coming back at 7:30 to do a full-out concert. I have an all-star band. Grammy winner Cedric Thompson is my musical director, and I'm a musical director. Derek Hall will be there. Calvin Rogers will be on drums. Maurice Fitzgerald will be on bass. Joey Wolfog will be on guitar. We're just going to have he's going to give it to you.
Okay. That's sounding, I'm there already. As you travel in Europe and you listen to the European choirs, their sound and their style, how does that compare to, or do you compare? You just say, this is what it is here and let me enjoy it for what it is.
I don't compare. I let it be for what it is there, because I think it's a lived experience, and you have to sing it from where you've lived.
Right.
And if you live in Spain, you live in Spain. If you live in America, you live in America. If you live in the UK, you live in the UK. It's that. I think the message is the same, but the the way you deliver it and your expression is what makes it unique to you. So I don't really judge it by that. If I can show them techniques to help better or to, and sometimes they do want to kind of figure out how we get certain sounds here.
Mm-hmm.
And learn how to teach them in phonetics and give them ideas and techniques of how to shape it for that. But more importantly, I like for it to be authentic to their experience.
Yes, yes, and I'm gathering from what you're saying there, Donald. There is a community spirit to choirs.
Absolutely.
It's a support network.
It's a support network. That's
Mm.
why it's beyond the music. It's a support that happens, you know. Sometimes people, when they're going through a low moment, they're very depressed. Just getting into a choir rehearsal can lift someone's spirit that if they didn't have that community there, you don't know what may happen to them. That's why I said breaking up a choir is more detrimental than you know, because it's not about, oh, I don't want to hear them sing all like that anymore. It's really about a community and a family that's a support system. And I think as well, especially in this day and time.
Yeah.
What people do during the pandemic, they all got on and they sang to each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it does. Even when Italy was shut down, I saw just clips of where people would just come out on their balcony and the whole community could sing. They couldn't leave their houses, but they could come out on their balcony and the whole area would just be singing. It was the most beautiful thing because that's what it is community. It's nothing like a choir.
Yes, yes. I saw you on a YouTube clip at one of my faith communities at Oakwood University.
Yes,
with the Oakwood University Aeolians.
Yes,
They're a classically orientated choir. What was that experience like for you?
Oh, it was incredible. Jason Ferdinand, who was a conductor, he's a good friend of mine. We try to talk quite a bit, and I've encouraged him to do his own thing, even outside of that. So we're good friends. We work, and because again, my background is broad. I mean, my education is in musical theater. I went to Cincinnati Conservatory of Music, so I kind of know how to take what I do and fit it into a lot of different boxes. I know how to present my gospel to a classical choir because some of my technique lends that way as well, along with some soulful, more pop styling things. So I just made myself well-rounded that I could speak to anybody from opera theater to classical to jazz to gospel to Broadway. I even did arrangement of One Last Time that featured Barack Obama for Hamilton. Like, so you can put me anywhere. I know how to make it.
That's good. That's good. I'm talking here to Donald Lawrence, and he will be in the UK between April 27 to 29 at the Gaumont State Theatre in London, and it's part of the Music and Arts Global. If you're a choir member, director, you need to be at this event because it's going to be happening. Donald, let's talk about you as the front person in terms of the director. Anything going on especially for the music or the choir directors at this conference or this gathering?
Well, I think that coming and watching me teach or talk about technique, that is where they get their best knowledge. I mean, I think a director, when it comes to directing the choir, that's your own personal style. It's really more about how to get sound. And so that's what we would focus on, blend. I have one of my technicians coming who had created this new brilliant technology called VenueFlex. VenueFlex is a new kind of mic that boosts the sound of the choir without the feedback. So he's going to introduce that to a lot of people in Europe. It's a big hit here now. And then a lot of the companies are starting to buy it from him. He's a brilliant technician, been with me he started out with me many years ago. And he wanted to come with me. So he's going to come introduce that as well. So I'm just giving them everything on how to continue to expand your choir and make it better. Also talk about how to get outside of what I call the four walls of the church and do it more out, understanding how today choir is blended in theater, it's blended on the Oscars, it's on the Grammys, it's at fashion shows. So I did something recently where I did music with dance theater, and dance theater is one of my favorite creative expressions as well. So it's showing them how to use choir and dance theater. We want to do some things like that. So it's just really, it's not even enough time. So this is going to be brief. This one, hopefully the next one we'll do a full 3 days.
Okay, I really want to thank you for spending the time with me. And again, Donald Lawrence will be at the Gaumont State Theatre It's on 197 to 199 High Road, London NW6 7HY. Some of you may know it as Ruach, but that's the place where it's going to be taking place. And
they can find information if they go to musicandartsglobal.com. That's musicandartsglobal.com. All the information.
All the information will be there, musicandartsglobal.com. Donald, It's been a pleasure, man, meeting you, and I look forward to just doing so in person when you get across here.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, take care.
All right.